Iran has issued a fresh warning to Bulgaria after Sofia permitted the United States to use its military bases, escalating diplomatic tensions between Tehran and the Balkan nation.
The European Union warns wildfires are pushing response systems to the limit as blazes rage across France and Spain.
The man suspected of carrying out a deadly attack at Berlin Pride is dead, police said on Sunday, following an hours-long manhunt.
The United States and Iran paused hostilities for a third night on Sunday as the warring sides look to give peace talks another chance after nearly 2 weeks of consecutive strikes almost squashed a landmark peace deal signed last month. U.S. officials addressing local media outlets said President Donald Trump is reportedly giving diplomacy a chance, but warned that military assets are still moving into the region and that Trump is ready to act if no progress is made. Hostilities resumed after Washington accused Iran of targeting commercial vessels in the strategic Strait of Hormuz, violating a memorandum of understanding signed mid-June. Iran retaliated by targeting U.S. assets in the Gulf states and broader region including Jordan, and its proxies, namely Yemen's Houthis, moved to block shipping in the Red Sea, ramping up pressure on reeling world economies and the U.S. On Sunday, an Iranian army spokesperson confirmed that Tehran also halted its retaliatory campaign amid ongoing diplomatic talks, but it too warned of severe consequences if the U.S. altered course and restarted the fighting. Tehran is also in a diplomatic clash with Ukraine following a strike on an Iranian ship bound for Russia just days ago, which Kyiv says was transporting military cargo to the Kremlin used to attack Ukrainian territory. Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi said the strike killed a sailor, as he and other top officials warned that it will not go unanswered.
Iran has issued a fresh warning to Bulgaria after Sofia permitted the United States to use its military bases, escalating diplomatic tensions between Tehran and the Balkan nation. The diplomatic rift deepened after Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baqai warned that Bulgarian decision-makers must bear responsibility for hosting a U.S. aerial refueling aircraft. The statement follows a public message from U.S. President Donald Trump, who thanked Bulgarian Prime Minister Rumen Radev for supporting the deployment despite Iranian threats. This marks the third warning issued by Tehran, which claims the move supports U.S. military operations against Iran. Despite attempts by Bulgarian Defense Minister Dimitar Stoyanov to downplay the risk of a missile attack, the situation remains tense at home. Bulgaria's parliament approved the relocation of U.S. aircraft to the Bezmer military airbase, sparking protests from local residents who fear the area could become a regional target.
The suspect in a deadly attack at Berlin's Christopher Street Day Pride event is dead, police said on Sunday following an hours-long manhunt.
Der Tatverdächtige des Anschlags gestern im großen Tiergarten ist hier von Spezialeinsatzkräften in einer Laubenkolonie in Berlin-Spandau lokalisiert worden und ist im Rahmen des Zugriffs auf unsere Einsatzkräfte mit einer Stichwaffe zugegangen, ist von unserem Spezialeinsatzkommando mit einer Schusswaffe gestoppt worden und ist in der Folge verstorben.
One woman was killed and 29 were injured after the suspect, identified as Abdul B., rammed into a crowd in Berlin's Tiergarten Park. While the attack took place outside of the official CSD route, a large number of people were still gathered just a few hundred meters away as the event was ending when the attack occurred on Saturday night. The attacker not only used the van as a weapon, but is said to have gone after people with a machete afterwards. German authorities declared the attack was Islamist in nature, and Chancellor Friedrich Merz called it an attack on society and freedom.
More than 320,000 people have been forced to flee their homes across France and Spain as a series of wildfires continue to wreak havoc across parts of southern Europe. In southwestern France, a fire is currently still raging in the Gironde area near Bordeaux, with flames as close as 15 kilometers from the major city. Evacuees are being housed in makeshift shelters and exhibition centers and sport halls across the region. Thousands of firefighters are still working to contain the blaze. And in Spain, some of the fires near Madrid were slowly contained. Some evacuees who had fled reportedly were allowed to return home on Monday. But in the coastal region of Valencia, however, some 15,000 people were evacuated as a new fire broke out. A man was killed in Manises, marking Spain's first recorded death in the latest fires. According to weather forecasts, temperatures are expected to rise dramatically in most of the affected regions over the next few days. Scientists warn that drought combined with heat waves, which are both intensified by human-caused climate change, are creating the conditions for fires to spread rapidly.
French, Spanish and EU leaders are looking at how to respond to the wildfires raging across southern Europe. Blazes have already consumed more than 80,000 hectares in Spain and over 42,000 hectares in France. Both fires remain out of control and have forced more than 320,000 people to leave their homes. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez warned difficult hours lay ahead in the fight against wildfires.
Por eso, prevención, respuesta y reconstrucción. Antes lo comentaba con el presidente Mañueco, también con el alcalde, con el presidente de la Diputación de Ávila. Es evidente que todavía no ha acabado el verano, que por desgracia tendremos nuevos incendios.
Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron chaired an interministerial crisis meeting on wildfires on Monday. The fire in Gironde has been stabilized but is not yet under control, the French Interior Minister said.
On est confronté en Gironde à un phénomène qui est totalement inédit.
Europe's firefighting capacity is struggling to keep pace with increasingly intense wildfires in Spain and France, the European Commission said Monday, despite one of the EU's largest ever emergency responses. The Commission has mobilized 7 aircraft and 4 helicopters to France, as well as 6 aircraft and 3 ground firefighting teams to Spain through the EU Civil Protection Mechanism. In addition, Brussels is moving to expand its firefighting fleet for future emergencies.
New clashes between police and protesters who oppose the ambitious tourism project of Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner in Albania broke out in Tirana. For the 57th day in a row, protesters gathered in the Albanian capital to express their opposition to what they call an environmental crime. They threw eggs and tomatoes at police officers, who in turn made arrests.
People are tired of the current corrupt system in Albania, and they want change. People have seen how things have gone for us, not just because of strategic investments, but also because of everyday life in Albania. All these people here, they're not ignorant. They know what's actually happening in Albania, and they're tired of corruption. It's that simple. Rule of law in Albania. That's all we want.
The protesters accuse the government of selling off the country's wealth and of being mired in scandals. At the same time, they accuse the government of attempting to control the judiciary and of creating a legal framework that serves the personal interest of government officials. The Albanian government maintains that the tourism plan aims to revitalize the wider region, attract high-end tourism, and contribute to the country's bid for EU membership.
Greece's Mount Olympus and France's D-Day beaches were among several sites added to the World Heritage List on Sunday. The World Heritage inscription of Mount Olympus, the mythical home of the 12 Olympian gods, rewarded a 12-year effort by Greece to secure recognition for its tallest mountain as a mixed cultural and natural heritage site. Rising almost 3,000 meters from a base near sea level, the mountain was believed to be the throne of Zeus, king of the gods, while also harboring rich biodiversity. The French designation covers the 5 Normandy landing beaches, Omaha, Utah, Sword, Gold, and Juno, where more than 150,000 Allied troops came ashore on June 6, 1944, to liberate Western Europe from Nazi occupation during World War II. The sites contain extensive remnants from German fortifications and bomb-scarred landscapes to Allied harbor structures and sunken vessels. Also inscribed were Italy's historic theaters of the Marche region, the ancient Japanese capitals of Asuka and Fujiwara, and South Sudan's Boma Badingilo migratory landscape, among others.
Right now I'm gonna make some small highlights like this is shining, so everything will be more realistic and more round. The sun is gonna bounce, so this sharp line here gonna be even more sharp, and the eyelids I'm gonna work a little bit on.
They give you a wall or a canvas where you can express yourself, you can do your art, and give your culture to others and take culture from others.